From William C. Denny Stadium, South River TV 35 is proud to present South River High School football. This afternoon, it's homecoming and the home opener for the Rams as they play host to the Highland Park Owls. Well, hi everybody, I'm Craig Scupp along with Mark Gregory. And Mark, after 3 games on the road, it's good to be back home, especially after the Rams, a tough loss at New Brunswick last Sunday night.
True, a very tough loss, and I think they came up against some quick backs last week against New Brunswick, and again today they're going to come up against quick backs from Highland Park, and some big backs too. In number 22, they screwed up the numbers. Johnny Johnson.
Actually, they changed their numbers to try to confuse the Rams. Tyrone Harrison will wear number 22.
That's who I was looking for.
Johnny Johnson will wear 30, and Dexter Keels is 27. Look for them in the backfield. Highland Park under Joe Policastro in his 9th year with the Owls, 22 years with the program. The Owls are always pretty predictable. The last couple years, they go with the one big back. We saw Craig Sawyer a couple years ago. Last year, it was Terry Harrison, and the Rams lost a really tough ball game, 7-5. Led 5-0 on a Laporte field goal in the safety and a late touchdown. That was one of the games that turned the Rams season around. They were 3-0 at that point going in, and they wound up 4-1. So a bitter rivalry the last couple of years, Highland Park. These teams don't like each other.
No, they don't. And like I said, South River's going to have to stop the backs. Tyrone Harrison, Johnny Johnson. They're really going to have to stop. That's the key to this game, the South River defense. We saw the offense last week, really productive against New Brunswick, even though they only scored 7 points. South River is really psyched up, as you can see on the monitor right now. They're getting in the huddle in the middle of the field. This game is going to be a really hard-hitting, tough game, and I think you're going to look for the South River defense. That's the key. They stop the running game from Highland Park, South River will win the game. Because we saw the offense last week. They're productive. The first 3 games they've played very well.
Rams last week, 279 total yards against the Zebras despite the loss. They had led 7-0 and had a 93-yard drive that took up most of the first quarter. But then Anthony Brown exploded for 88 yards. He finished 172, and the Rams didn't even cross midfield in the third quarter. So the speed of Brown and Willie Weaver and Bell Navis and Dwayne Smith, you're not going to find a quicker club than New Brunswick, and that really was a big test for the Rams.
Yes, it was. And today it's cold, it's windy. The wind's going to play a big factor in today's game.
So Melvin Sharp will kick off. Back deep for the Rams, Jackson, Sadowski, and Eicher. So we're just about set. Home opener here at Denny Stadium. Here's the boot from Sharp. Vinnie Jackson from his own 15 cuts to the near side of the field and is knocked out of bounds at about the 23-yard line, knocked out by number 30, Johnny Johnson. So we'll set the Ram offense for you.
That was number 27, Craig. I think Johnson's wearing Dexter Keels.
So the Ram offense will start with Sadowski at wide receiver. The tackles are Nowicki and Chipkowski, Crawford and Sprogius at the guard. Center is Bill Shern and the tight end Joe May. The Ram backfield, Weems will start at wing back, Check at fullback, and Rich Bird, number 46, at tailback. Rams will alternate a great deal. On offense, Owls started with a 5-2 defense. Mack with the throw on first down, incomplete.
He got hit from the backside. Makowitz got hit from the backside that time. They were trying to drag receivers over the middle. I think they were trying to get Check over the middle. And Highland Park in their 5-2 monster.
We'll set the defense at the ends is Melvin Sharp and Tyrone Harrison. The tackles are Pete Deland, Craig Duncan, and Paul Holgerson is the nose guard. Very windy, Marco. We in
Yeah, very
Wrigley Field. Jeff Karvatsky at linebacker 44 along with Steve Harris. Secondary is Johnny Johnson, Mark Lewis, Walter Fowler, and Dexter Keels. So Mackwitz will leave the ball game just for one play, and sophomore Joe Shateri has come on, had a touchdown a couple weeks back against Spotswood. Fumbles a snap, and Highland Park has it, so the Rams off to a shaky start.
So second string quarterback Joe Shateri comes in, fumbles a snap, gets a bad pitch off, and number 22, Tyrone Harrison, for the defense, comes up and almost runs that one in. Rams defense up right here, a big defensive stand coming up, Craig.
First and goal from the 7-yard line. The Owl offense, Lewis at wide receiver. The guards are Holgerson and Harris. The tackle, Strumminger and Kozlowski. Craig Duncan is the center. Brian Lewis, the quarterback, number 16. Check that, Keith Agron, number 19. Here's Johnny Johnson inside the 5. The Rams, a shaky start, and could be down 7-0. We're not even a minute in.
Yes. So it's second and goal from the 3, or actually from the 2-yard line, Craig. It's hard to tell. Not going to see anything tricky here, Craig. Just straight dives up the middle.
Second and goal from the Owls. Johnson once again, over the top, touchdown. So it's just a minute and 10 seconds in. Johnny Johnson, his 3rd touchdown on the year. John Johnson, his 3rd touchdown of the year, 6-0 Owls. So John Johnson, his 3rd touchdown on the year, now leads the Owls in scoring with 18 points. So Bill Bloom, a senior, will try the extra point. Here's the snap. Kick is up and good. So we'll take a break. 10:50 to play first quarter. 7-0 Owls. Have to rebound. That was the time when you're injured on the play, you have to come out of the lineup. So Mackwitz was okay, but it's windy, Mark.
It's windy and it's cold. And Mackwitz not really hurt. He's just got to sit out the one play. Shateri came in, not used to taking the snaps. The transition between Shurin and Mackwitz is there. They've been doing it for 3 games preseason. It's tough.
That time, I don't think the ball ever even reached Vinnie Jackson. Craig Bailey from his own 25 has some blocking upended at about the 35-yard line, so the Rams will have good field position. Some words between Larry Crawford and big Mel Sharp. Mel Sharp goes 6'3".
That's the type of game it's going to be. The Rams are they're going to have to come back and get fired up here. Highland Park already is charged up.
Highland Park last week held St. Pius to 59 rushing yards. Their one win on the year over Pius, 27-0. They had an opening game tie at home against Keensburg. 8-1-1 a season ago. The Owls made the Central Jersey Group 1 final, losing to Keyport. Todd check. We have motion against the Rams. So the Rams are, I don't know if they're nervous or certainly not sharp. Motion against South River. Todd check jumping a bit. So a 5-yard penalty will be 1st and 15. That'll send the ball back to the 31-yard line. Call the 33. Officials for this ball game referee is Ralph Lamo. umpire Al Milano. Line judge is Tony Bonacardi. The linesman is Ed Kears, and the clock operator is Lou Costa. So first and 15, 10:18 remaining. First quarter, Owls already up on top, 7-0. Bird in check in the Ram backfield. Sadowski is wide right. That misdirection play to Mike Weems upended by number 89, Mark Lewis.
Good line blocking that time, a trap play. We've seen that play before many a times. Nowicki coming over with the trap. A big hole, but the quick defense, the quick backs, the linebackers for Highland Park closing down the hole. All right, they got 5 yards, good gain, but when you have a penalty now, it's 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 5.
2nd and 10 for South River. From their own 37, here's the sophomore Rich Bird off left tackle, across the 40, out to about the 43. Call it 3rd and a long 4 for South River. Sophomore Rich Bird on that carry. So Vinnie Jackson and Art Diem come on. It's the earliest the Rams have trailed this year. They blanked Petty, actually led New Brunswick last week. So Craig Bailey is wide left. 3rd and a long 4. Here's Vinnie Jackson pitch. Tries to cut inside and brought down by number 29, Walter Fowler.
The pitch to the short side of the field. And number 29 for Walter Fowler for Highland Park came across and made the tackle. Didn't really fool anybody on that pitch play. Or I shouldn't say that, didn't really execute it well. Didn't get the blocking out front.
Lewis and Johnson back into the Owls. Bailey on the punt for South River. So Craig Bailey, the senior number 87, has had a good kicking year for the Rams. They booted away. Lewis and Johnson are back deep. Line drive kick from Bailey. Johnson feels it as zone 13, fakes the end around. Vicious hit on guard Smalley as Johnson may go all the way. Dorian trying to catch him inside the 10, touchdown, but a penalty flag on the play. Looks like it's going to be called back. Guard Smalley got nailed.
It was a clean block, though, apparently. A good block. Craig, that was a good Highland Park faked the reverse, set the wall up, and really had good blocking. Didn't really, it kind of fooled South River a little bit, but it all called back.
So big break for South River. They trail already 7-0. As you see the clipping call from referee Ralph Lamo. It's one of those plays we'll have to look back later in the afternoon, Mark.
And say, hey, they could have been up 14-0, and now it's all for nothing. Now this gives the Rams a break. Now they have to capitalize on the break.
So the Owls will start this drive, 1st and 10 from their own 17-yard line. And Joe Policastro showing confidence in Keith Legrand, just a sophomore. You may remember his brother Greg played a lot of sports over at Highland Park.
That's right. What years did he play?
Graduated last year. Here's Terry Harrison. Check that Tyrone. Still going for about 8 yards.
Again, we saw it last week against New Brunswick. South River not making the contact on the line of scrimmage. They're getting 4 or 5 yards and then spinning, and the Rams just fundamentally not tackling well. Not wrapping the arms. You got to hit, wrap the arms, and bring the runner down. Not just hit him and think he's going to fall.
And the season series between South River and Highland Park, Rams lead it 15-10. Back in '84 at Denny, they beat the Owls here 15-14. And back in 1983, the Rams defeated the Owls in the final minute. Chuck Gawarkowitz to Mike Binns. That was probably the most exciting broadcast ever.
2 years ago back at Highland Park. Oh, what a game that was. That was the year the Rams were, 84 Rams took it all away. They won the championship.
Harvasky has come on number 44 in the Owl backfield. Second and a long one. Here's Tyrone Harrison. Has the first down. The Rams, a big test for them. They have to come back after that quick touchdown.
They have to stop the running game of Highland Park. I'll tell you, they're going to keep that ball on the ground. A good part of this game, unless they fall behind, they're going to keep the ball on the ground.
First and 10 Owls from their own 27-yard line. That time motion. And the Rams have Rich Holloman in at defensive end, number 34. Offside against the Rams, so it'll be a 1st and 5.
So they say that South River drew the offense off. South River hurting themselves in the early part of the game.
Karvatsky going in motion for the Owl. Is Harrison, lost the ball, and the Rams have it.
Again, though. All right, the Rams pick a fumble up, but there was a hole there, Craig.
The Rams take over. That's a good basketball player, too. 35-yard line, so he's making his presence felt. Recover the Tyrone Harrison fumble. Mackwitz rolling out on first down, in trouble. That time was hit as he threw, and Bill Shern was right there. His first reception.
Bill Shern in the right place at the right time that time. He got the ball. It looked like he really didn't know what to do. A lineman gets the ball. He kind of like just stood there. He should have just tried running upfield. I don't know, how would you rule that? I guess a fumble.
Because they were looking for daylight that time. But no gain, 2nd and 10.
That time Magowitz was looking for Sadowski on a fly pattern, or down, out, and go, right up the right side of the field.
Weems and Bailey are wide left. They go to Vinnie Jackson to the right, met there by Johnson, driven out of bounds. Rams need a big play to get some of that momentum back.
That's right. They got to get the momentum back. Craig, another big game today. Metuchen at New Brunswick. Interesting to hear about that. If we can get you a score, we'll let you know.
New Brunswick, an erratic ball club, lost to Monroe 10-8 and then came back and beat the Rams bad. So it's tough to say what kind of club John Parker has. Today will be a big test. And we get a penalty flag.
The Rams, it's procedure.
This is a phase we've seen the Rams the past couple years. At times, it's the big game. They're just not mentally sharp. We talked in the offseason, if two teams you want to beat bad this year are Metuchen and Highland Park. Right now, Rams don't look ready. Still first quarter, but I don't know if it's unfamiliar surroundings. There's been so many rogue games. Here's Jackson off the tailback off. He threw it away to Johnny Johnson. And he's driven out of bounds by Sprogis at the 48-yard line.
So we see the Rams get a break, come back, have Bailey open over the middle, and Jackson just throws it right over his head into the arms of number 30, Johnny Johnson, Jr., 5'7".
So second turnover for South River. We've seen the fumble, the interception. The one thing I don't like about that tailback option, which the Rams, I think they use a little too much. You got a good pass from Mackwith. Go with your best passer. Don't have the tailback, Ivanovich and Jackson, always running that play.
Well, it's something, it was open though that time. And then, like you said, go with your best.
Here's Johnson cutting inside across the 50. Host of tacklers there for the Rams.
Larry Crawford there, I'll tell you, Larry Crawford. Last week on defense, didn't have too good of a game last week, Craig, on defense, as New Brunswick ran up the middle, getting 10 yards apart. I'm not only blaming him, I'm just saying that the whole line as a whole This week, I think he's psyched up. Talking to my brother, he really wants to play well. So look for him to really be in on a lot of tackles on that defensive line.
Gain of 2 by Johnson. 2nd and 8. Under 5 minutes remaining. First quarter. Owls lead at 7-0. There's that grand calling signal. Harrison off left tackle. Just running over Rams. About 13 yards in that carry. Mike Dean.
And that's it, Craig. Said it. Running over Rams. South River's defense just really just not looking potent, not looking tough, tight, keeping runners, stacking runners up at the line of scrimmage.
Harrison, a big kid, Mark. 6'2", 218.
I'll tell you, those defensive ends, Holloman and Barkle, have to close down. The tackles have to close down. The linebackers have to fill. If they're on a read call, they have to read their keys. There should be no reason why they shouldn't stop a straight drive.
Rams at the South River 38-yard line.
Highland Park at the Rams.
Yes, Tyrone Harrison once again to the 30-yard line. Dean and Diem again on the tackle.
Joe Policastro is not going to call any other play. Why should he call any other play? He's going to go with the straight drive all game.
That's been the Highland Park philosophy, pretty much going with one main back the last couple years.
Yes, and running him 30 times a game. And if you key on him, he's going to be tired. Look at Joe Chipkowski last year. You can't do that to a kid the whole game.
2nd and 1 for the Owls. Out of the eye. Harrison. Guard Smalley in on the stop.
You got to do that on first down, Craig.
Official timeout on the field for a measurement.
Craig, it seems like the Rams have trouble with the backs that hit and spin, and really, they're not tackling right. That's the problem, because they're coming through that line. There's an initial hole, all right, but nobody's filling, nobody's closing down, and then the runners are just spinning and running straight ahead for 10 yards. That means that the Highland Park blockers are beating the South River defense. Their ability is better than them at this point right now in the game.
So 1st and 10 Owls. The Rams 28-yard line. Karvatsky tries to spin off, and Guard Smalley's right there.
I think you're going to get a holding call here, Craig.
Rams don't want to be down 14-0, Mark.
Not at all. This is a good break right here. Push him back 10 yards. Because you know Highland Park's not going to punt the ball away here. They're going to go for it. One thing you need is if you get them stuck around the 40 and they go for it, you don't have bad field position.
Back at the 39-yard line.
Craig, I'm just going to take a guess. I'll say that if South River stops them here and it's about a 4th and 15 or something from the 35, I think Highland Park will go for it. I think that's to South River's advantage, too.
Bill Shern has come on for Larry Crawford as nose guard for the Rams. So 1st and 20. Jim Davis, number 42. Getting some of that yardage back.
Too many yards. It's just a pitch around right end. One good thing about the Highland Park runners now. Number 42, I believe, ran that ball. Jimmy Davis, and he took that ball, and then he cut right upfield, went straight ahead, picked up 5 yards. Good running.
So 2nd and 15 at the Ram 34-yard line, 2:22 to play, first quarter. Owls lead at 7-0. At Graham back to throw. Garth Smalley there on the sack. So Garth blitzing that time from his middle linebacker position, drops a grand back at his 42-yard line.
And that time, he was gunning for number 42, Jim Davis. He had Jim Davis on a V-out pattern, and that's what the Rams didn't have against New Brunswick last week, a pass rush. This time, defensive coordinator sent the linebacker. The rush, it worked. All right, that's what the Rams needed last week. They didn't get it. Now they have it. Now they have to capitalize. Big 3rd down.
3rd and 22 for the Owls. 1:35 to play, first quarter. Grant again back to throw over the middle. Intercepted by Mike Dean. Across the 30, upended at about his 30-yard line. So Mike Dean had an interception last week. His third interception on the year.
Third interception on it.
That was Mike Dean's third interception on the year. South River will take over 1st and 10.
We got a flag down, roughing the passer on South River. Now that's going to change. That's the Rams hurting themselves over and over again.
Penalty against South River. So now it'll be about a 3rd and 13. For Highland Park, so Owls get another shot at it.
Look for a pitch out, or I think they'll put it up in the air.
Working out of the eye. Johnson will not get the first down. Gets about 4 yards.
Craig. They got 2 pops at it now. They're going to go. A big 4th down here.
So call it 4th and about 6. Ball inside the 25-yard line. Owls going for it. They lead 7-0. 55 seconds remaining. First quarter. And Mark Lewis, wide left, out of the eye. Harrison and Johnson in the backfield. Grant back to throw. Got heavy pressure. Gets it off. And Mike Weems, I think, hit the man earlier, but they didn't call it.
They don't get the call. Good defensive call. It was a good defensive call. Personally, I thought they were going to run. They're getting 5 yards a carry. Why throw the ball, Craig? You're getting 5 yards a carry. Do a pitch out. You got quick backs. The Rams have had trouble. You drop back. The South River defense sends their backers. They're in a 40 defense. They have 2 backers rushing. I don't know. Highland Park, I think they should have ran the ball. That's over and done with. Rams have the ball.
Rams from their own 24-yard line. Here's the junior, Vinnie Jackson, cutting back to the other side of the field for about 4.
Gets 4 yards. All right. Good. He turned the loss into a gain that time. He was supposed to run over the right side. There was nothing there. He cut it back, and he got 4 yards. A good run.
Just 10 seconds. See if the Rams get another playoff. First quarter winding down here at Denny. I don't think the Rams will do it. So we'll be back with second quarter action. The score after 1 here at homecoming at Denny. The Owls 7, the Rams nothing. We missed the first play of the second quarter. It was the fullback Todd Check on the carry. And we see the chain gang on the field. Rams have a first down.
First down.
The South River crowd urging the Rams on, trying to get them back in this ballgame. They trail 7-0. They got a pair of big defensive ends, and sharp and
very big.
Nice piece of running there by Todd Chet once again. So there were some technical problems as Todd Chet carry. Here's guard Smalley straight up the middle, close to the first down.
We're not going to have any problem, Craig, tonight. It's just our video up here that is not working. So we're going to have to watch the live action.
So Garth Smalley getting the carry. Garth came in the ball game with 2 touchdowns, had 13 carries for 79 yards over 3 ball games. The 1st and 10 Rams at their own 46-yard line. Ryan Sadowski is split to the right. Bird and Smalley in the Ram backfield. Here's Rich Bird. Inside Owl territory is about the 49-yard line.
So now we see the Rams backs. Correct. 58, Craig Duncan had a shot at Bird in the backfield. Bird shook him off and got some good yardage on a play, all right? Got about 6 yards. Rams backs have to do that. They have to learn how to shake tacklers, just like the Highland Park backs. And the New Brunswick backs did a very good job of spinning, cutting away from the defenders.
Rams at the Owl 49-yard line, 2nd and 4 for South River. Here's Vinnie Jackson for a couple. They clogged up the middle that time. Craig Duncan, Paul Hogerson, Pete Deland, no room for Jackson.
I think that play, maybe they set it in like a gut formation. Maybe Highland Park thought that they were going to go outside, maybe try to create a little diversion there. Rams go right up the gut. So they get about a yard, 3rd and 3. Big 3rd down play, Chris.
3rd and 3 for South River. Have to get it to about the 44-yard line, actually just inside the 45 of Highland Park for a Ram first down. Tom Eicher goes in motion, the wingback. Here's Jeff Dorian lunging forward, appears to be short.
He's going to be about a half yard short of the first down.
Jeff Dorian on the carry. About a 1 yard for the Rams. And they send Bird, Joe May, and Sadowski on. Rams are going for it. And I think Highland Park thinks the Rams are punting as they've sent most of their unit off. Rams are going for it. A quick count here really helps.
No,
Official timeout.
No.
Very late call by the official. They say timeout, Highland Park. Appears to be a little too late, but nevertheless.
So South River surrounded in the last 2 games with a bit of controversy. The call on New Brunswick, the personal foul call, now this. Joe Policastro getting a break.
That was a bad call, Mark. I was very lucky.
I'm going to say, I'm calling it as it is. Bad call. The Rams got that snap ball. Yeah, it's true. The coaches were calling timeout from the sides, but did a player signal? A player has to signal. He didn't call for a timeout, the captain or anybody on the field. I didn't see it.
Plus, the Rams were already set at the line of scrimmage.
Set.
I don't even want to talk about the officials. I just get bored with it. Each year, they never seem to improve. So
they're only human, and hey, you know, it's their judgment. They make the rules out there. They don't make the rules. They enforce the rules, and they just, as they saw it, it was in time, and it was a legitimate timeout. So the play stands.
So a big break. Rams now a 4th and 1. And Bill Shateri out on the field talking to his squad. Owls an early touchdown at the 10:50 mark.
That's one thing. If you're a coach, you have assistant coaches for Highland Park side. They think that's a little negligent what they did. Nobody even checked. Did a coach say, hey, to their head coach, hey, coach, they got their quarterback out there. Did they have somebody watching? Don't usually do that. You know, when I played, they say, hey, wait, you know, coach, they're not going for it.
You know what happened, Mark? Their players just automatically just trotted off the field. Their defensive unit came on, and like you said, the assistant coaches never spotted that Craig Bailey, number 87, has to come on for the
Rams. If you're coaching, you know the other team. You know who punts. You know the key running backs. You see those guys on the field, you say, hey, coach, you know, they're going to go for it.
Rams going for it. 1st and 1, 4th and 1. Here's Bird lunging forward for the first down.
A big first down. And as you can hear on the TV, probably the PA announcer, that's our own.
Who was that guy? Who was that guy?
The fans fired up.
I'm in the homecoming mood, Mark. So 1st and 10 for South River at the Owls 40-yard line. Those mental mistakes again. Now it's a 1st and 15.
Seems like whenever the band is playing, they get psyched up, or maybe it's just being overactive. They got a first down, they get psyched up, they lose their head, and maybe it's the band. I said it just a moment ago, because sometimes that band starts playing, and you know, you lose the count. Or, you know, you're hearing the drums instead of the quarterback. You know what I mean?
You made a good point last week when you said sometimes a band playing, it's hard to hear and concentrate.
As soon as they get set like this right now, the band should, if they're playing, they should stop. Not that we don't want the band to play, you know.
45 of Highland Park. Vinnie Jackson trying to cut around the outside. Sidesteps Johnson, has running room. Wrestled out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Nice piece of running.
He did that all on his own. He got a couple good blocks, but he took that on his own. He took that up, and he just faked out the D-back, number 30 on the left side. Johnny Johnson.
Or John Henry Johnson, if he listed in the scorecard. So 2nd and 5, 10 yards for Vinnie Jackson. Vinnie came in the ballgame with 3 touchdowns, 18 points, had 21 carries for 154 yards, rushed for 84 against Spotswood, and had 70 yards last week in a touchdown against New Brunswick. 2nd and 5 for the Rams. Bird cutting inside, breaking some tackle, fumble the ball, and it'll be Highland Park ball.
So South River comes up, getting a good drive going. Rich Bird takes the ball over the left side, avoids one tackler, gets up the field for a couple yards, a good gain, what appears to be a good gain, maybe enough for the first down, and the Rams fumble.
So that drive goes for naught as Bill Shateri takes a timeout. Frustrating for the Rams, because the Rams had a good drive there. But that time Bird was stopped behind the line of scrimmage, lunged forward, and stripped of the ball. So Highland Park offense, they had the touchdown. Of course, that fumble set it up 1st and goal. So we'll have to see what kind of drive they can mount. Have some talented backs.
They do, but again, if you're South River, you know Highland Park's going to run that ball. They got good backs. They've had success. They're going to run up the middle time and time again. You got to anticipate it.
Well, I think Bill Shateri took that time out, Mark, just to settle his ball club down, not to get down, and just got to keep plugging away.
That's right. The momentum's with Highland Park right now, and maybe that's it. That's the key. Just like in basketball, team gets a jump on you, gets a lead, you call a timeout, slow things down. You know, maybe right now he's using that strategy. Hey, let's regroup out there. Let's talk. What's the problem?
Bill Shern is out at nose guard. Actually, they have Tom Chivakowski at nose guard. They switch Bill Shern to tackle. Barkalow and Holloman are the ends. Nowicki's also in the tackles. It's Sadowski, Smalley, and Check at linebackers. Diem, Dean, and Eicher in the Rams secondary. From the Ram 28, here's Harrison. Across the 30 to about the 31.
Guard Smalley plugging up the hole. Very good read. South River jumped back into their 40 defense that time. I guess in the scouting report when Highland Park went into that set, went into motion, that was the key. They called their audible on defense. Let's get into the 40 defense. Highland Park, quick dive up the middle, spread things out, maybe get something going. Didn't work.
Gain of 3 by the senior Harrison. 2nd and 7. Lewis is wide right for Highland Park. Here's Johnny Johnson, far side of the field. Has the first down, knocked out of bounds by Art Diem.
South River outside linebackers can't sit back. They have to come up, come across the line of scrimmage, and make the play. They're not doing that, Craig. The linebacker on that side, check, is sitting back. You can't sit back. You're taught when that line tight end blocks down, you come up. You come across the line of scrimmage. They're not doing that. He was waiting and he got blown out.
Gain of 8 for Johnson. Give the Owls a first down. From their own 39-yard line, here's Harrison. Just running over people across the 40 to about the 47-yard line. That duo of Harrison and Johnson hurting the Rams.
Too many yards, Craig. Too many yards.
When it's frustrating to the Rams, they put together that drive and fumble stopped all that.
South River could, they could be good this year. They get their offense is really playing well. They get those drives that eat up the clock and keep other teams' offenses off the field. They're going to win games, but that defense is just right now, it's lacking something.
2 fumbles hurt South River. Here's Harrison. Appears to be shy of the first down. So it could be 3rd and a yard.
I think it's frustrating for a coach now. You're a defensive coordinator. You kids aren't doing the right things. They're not. Those defensive linebackers, those outside linebackers, Craig, that's what they're taught. I mean, I was there. I know. They're taught when their key blocks down, and they know it's a run, they're supposed to come up hard. And they're not doing that. Check did not do that time. He sat back, and he got blown out.
3rd and 1, some confusion in the Owl backfield, out of the eye. Here's Johnson, shy of the first down. Ball is popped loose, but after the whistle, Rams defense stopped them there.
So it's going to be 4th and 1. I'll tell you something. I wouldn't be surprised to see Pa Kesher go for this right here, and I think he's gonna.
A chant of hold that line from the Ram fans. 4th and 1. Harrison and Johnson in the backfield.
You think something fancy, Craig? Maybe a pass?
A grand lunges forward and has the first down.
Nothing fancy. Quick count. Cold up here, Craig, today. The wind. I didn't bring a jacket, and I'm paying for it.
Definitely a windy, blustery, cold day here at homecoming. And it's basically been a fairly even game, though the offense, as far as Highland Park, that fumble really set up an easy touchdown. So
we see the South River offense driving, giving up on a fumble. Highland Park's offense driving, they fumble the ball. All right, South River's offense driving only. Vinnie Jackson throws an interception.
Owls have been confused. Players coming in and out as Jeff Karvatsky came on.
We see that in South River too. Back shifting in and out. They get confused, and they have to take a timeout, which they might need later on in the second quarter. It's getting late.
Let's take a look at some of the South River cheerleaders on hand. The full squad out today, the whole contingent of cheerleaders.
Welcome to Bill.
The Rams just try to force a turnover, get some momentum back. Had a decent drive last time. That Bird fumble stopped everything for South River.
Craig, I don't think Highland Park's beat South River in Denny Stadium in how many years?
It's been quite a long time. The last Iowa win was last year at Highland Park. Owls have a good schedule this year. They have 6 home games, and their last 3 are at home. Next week they host Spotswood, then they have 2 away games at St. Peter's and Delaware Valley, but complete opposite of the Rams. The Rams only have 2 more home games, one against Keyport. They're going to be tough, Mark. You've been reading about. They got a backfield of Kemp and Cabrera. Kemp ran for 290 yards last year. Efrain Cabrera, the Central Jersey defending champion, Group 1, 100 meters. The Rams, big test against these quick backs. So 1st and 10 for the Owls at midfield. Here's Tyrone Harrison for about 4 yards.
That time Highland Park coming out with a slot, I would really have to think. You have to just anticipate. Look inside the mind of Paul Castro. He's going to run the ball, Craig. He's had success. Why should he throw it and risk getting sacked? They tried to throw earlier. They got sacked. They had trouble. I'm telling you, Craig, he's going to run the ball. I don't care how many guys they have split. Watch, he'll throw here and totally contradict what I'm saying.
Call it 2nd and 7. I ran back to throw. Mark Wrigley was right. Through the hands, and it's intercepted.
Craig, we see it. All right. All right, Craig. I said it, all right? South River has not been able to stop the run that well. Highland Park getting 5, 6 yards a pop. They come up, they throw, and they have trouble. And I just said, I think Paul Castro's going to keep it on the ground. No, they throw it, and they get an interception. So I was right, in a way, if you listen to what I was saying.
South River from their own 30, under 4 minutes to play. First quarter, here's Mackwith on the bootleg, has blocking. That play should have developed into more. He should have waited for Sprogis.
He outran his lineman that time, coming out blocking for him. But we saw that play work well against Spotswood. And here again, wide open field for Mackwith. He's a good runner. I think he's a good quarterback overall. I think he's shown that he's a very good quarterback so far in the season. I think if we have to say let's single out one Ram that's really played well, I think it's Jim Mackwith.
Oh, no doubt about it. Coming in, had 14 carries for 88 yards, pickup of 5, 2nd and 5, 3:07 to play first half. Here's Weems, the wing back, appears to have the first down.
So here we saw that trap play again. An inside handoff. We've seen it every week. All right, so teams know it's coming. That's just a matter of saying, hey, it's me against you. We're going to blow you out, and we're going to get the yardage.
Craig Bailey is wide right. 1st and 10 Rams from their own 42. Here's Rich Bird, the sophomore, spinning off tacklers to about the 48. Remember, Birdie fumbled earlier, but he's just a sophomore.
Hit. Craig, you can't worry about that fumble. You can't worry about it. 2:28 left. Rams on the drive. Let's see now. They're battling the clock. Let's see if they can come up here.
There's Weems, the misdirection this time. Has the first down. So Mike Weems running with confidence.
He's running well, and he's running that trap play over and over again. Highland Park, they made a mistake going to the air. They blew it. South River, they're just South River running plays that have worked for them. Keep it where it works.
Thing is, Mark, clock winding down, 2:08. Last week against New Brunswick, clock ran out at the Rams at the end of the first half after a good drive. So Dorian and Smalley are in the Ram backfield. Mackwith to throw on first down. Intercepted. Dexter Keels on the interception. Still going. Now cuts back to... And that drive ends in an interception.
He was looking for 26, Ron Sadowski, on a... what he slant over the middle, I guess you'd call it. And Bailey, I think, was right in back of him, deep, doing like just a fly down there. He didn't really clear out well, and his defender was there, when you get two pass receivers in one area, that gets defenders in that area, and it's cluttered up. You don't want that. You want it spread open.
So minute 40 remaining. Owls from their own 42-yard line. One last shot here for the close of first half. And Bill Shateri is livid as Johnson gets the carry out, beats Mike Dean. He may go all the way. So Johnny Johnson exploding. 58 yards. It's 13-0 Highland Park. Johnny Johnson's second touchdown on the day. 13-0 Owls. So Bill Bloom to try the extra point. Keith Legrand will hold for the Owls. Low snap, here's Legrand, the throw, incomplete. So the pass fails, and that could be a big play, Mark. Thing is, Rams have to get back in the ball game.
Will Mr. Robertson please report to his truck? Mr. Robertson to his truck. Sadowski back east of the Rams.
So Mel Sharp set the kick off, and the Rams not a good first half. They've just been killed by the explosive back. I don't know, what can you do when a kid is that quick? You gotta have quicker guys, Mark. There's some execution and technique, but
you have to stop them on the line of scrimmage. You have to be on top of them. Don't let them get a chance to get out in the open. Don't let them turn the corner. That's what you have to do.
Boot from Melvin Sharp. Sadowski at his own 10-yard line. Out to about the 21-yard line. So a 13-0 Highland Park lead. The Rams not much time to work with. Ron Sadowski is wide to the right. Jackson and check. Here's Mackwitz on the bootleg. Looking deep for Sadowski. Incomplete. That time was covered by Jimmy Davis. Both Bob
beat. And Sadowski had pressure on him, Craig. He couldn't get the ball off the way he wanted to, Craig. Craig, that play was there. It was a matter of pressure on Mackwitz. He's a good passer. The ball fell short because he had pressure on him. As he was thrown, he got hit. So just a good defensive play on the part of Highland Park.
So 2nd and 10 for South River. 57 seconds remaining first half. 13-0 Highland Park. Rams out of the eye. Mackwitz rolling out. Complete to Rich Bird at the far side of the field. Has a block. Rams still just not getting that extra blocking to really spring them loose.
So I saw Craig Bailey calling a timeout, and the ref saying, "Get out of my face, you'll get the timeout." The clock stops anyway, it doesn't matter.
47 seconds remaining. A swing pass to Bird, giving the Rams the first down. At the 36-yard line, the Rams working. Rams can't get down. They had a whole half to go.
And they played well. Again, the offense moves the ball well. Turnovers plagued them. The drives were halted because of turnovers.
Turnovers have plagued Highland Park, too.
Both. But Highland Park got the big play. South River hasn't gotten the big play yet.
Bill Shateri walking off the field. See what he has in store for South River. Just 47 seconds remaining here in the first half. This club down 13-0.
Greg, looking ahead, just say, South River gets a big play, scores. Do you go for 2 or do you go for the 1?
They'll probably go for the 1, because then if they get another touchdown, be automatically tied. And the Rams will have to worry about that when they come. Eicher, check and Bird are wide right. Complete to Eicher, looking deep for May, just heaves it up there through the hands of Mark Lewis. So that works. 7 seconds off the clock.
Looking for an interference call. 7 seconds gone. It's going to be 2nd and 10. That's kind of shaky. I think South River looking for the interference call. Didn't get it. I think maybe that's what you do here. You throw the ball deep. A lot of pro teams do that. They just throw the ball deep. People say, why do they do that? They're just looking for a call, looking for a break. And, you know, maybe an immaculate reception. Maybe a ball bounce and somebody comes up with it.
2nd and 10 for South River, just 40 seconds to play. Swing pass to Eicher, nearly picked off by Sharp.
3rd and long.
So 35 seconds to play. So again, it looks like a passing situation for South River. Thing is, what do the Rams do if they don't get the first down here? There still should be like maybe 30, 25 seconds remaining.
Run the clock off. Go before your last play. Just run it out.
Complete to Eicher, looking for blocking. Breaks a couple tackles for about 5 yards. Highland Park timeout. They want another shot at it with 25 seconds. I think the Rams will go for it.
I think they have to.
Fourth and 4 for the Rams. Bill Shateri has come on the field. Rams are going for it. Macwood's still on the field. It's been a weird first half. That early fumble. Joe Shateri came on. Was hit as he released. Great field position for the Owls. So that was a gimme touchdown.
South River spotted him 7. And that second touchdown was a big play. South River defense maybe relaxed a little bit, and they just, you can't let, when you're playing a team with offensive backs that had the potential to break the big play, you can't relax 1 second the whole game. You have to be so intense and so keyed on those runners. And if you're South River, if you're a player, you're saying to yourself, hey, I'm going to read my key, but you got to think a little bit and say, look, they're not going to throw the ball. They haven't had success. They've had success running the ball. What are they going to do? They're going to run the ball. If I'm a linebacker, as soon as I see that tight end block down, I'm up. I'm in that I'm going to make sure that back doesn't turn the corner.
So 4th and 4, 25 seconds to play here in the first half. Pitch left side to Vinnie Jackson. Penalty flag as he will not get the first down. Blocking below the waist against the Rams. 5 seconds tick off the clock.
Of course, Highland Park's going to decline it.
Penalty here against South River. Declined by the Owls as they take over 1st and 10.
And they're going to go for another score here. Hey, they're going to run it up against South River. You know, there's no love lost here, Craig.
There's no love lost. You wonder why the Rams aren't fired up more.
I think they are. I think they're just having some bad breaks, you know. Nobody's perfect. I know you can't have fumbles, but it's going to happen. Interceptions. It just happens. You got to just come up against that diversity.
So 1st and 10 at the Ram 42. A grand back to throw. Looking deep for Johnson. Batted away by Tom Eicher.
So there's 1 second left. They're going to get one play off here. Now, it's almost, you don't want to see that quarterback drop back with 1 second left, heave one up, and they get a tip and just goes in the end zone. That's something that would really just be a very big blow to South River.
I just think that the fact that there's 1 second left, what the tough luck the Rams have been having as of late, Can't even run out the clock on a long play. They have one more shot. See how far the Rams drop back their secondary. You never know they could do a draw play to Harrison and Johnson. They could explode. Here's Johnson off the option. Heave deep. Intercepted by Mike Dean. Cutting inside. Trying to lateral to Tom Eicher. Eicher to the far side of the field. To Ron Sadowski. He hasn't gotten down yet, finally.
Illegal pitch. The play can't end on the offensive penalty, so the half will end. That's another thing, Craig. What if they pitch and that pitch gets fumbled? Oh, you know, that's something, you know, all right, you want them to pitch, you want them to try to get that, you know, get it back. That's good thinking, but, oh, that's so scary. They're down on the 5-yard line. They're pitching that ball. So to recap the first half, turnovers plague South River. Highland Park gets a big play, and it's 13-0.
We'll be back with third quarter action. Craig Scott along with Mark Ray. We hope you're enjoying the homecoming here at South River High School.
A group of people have to work as a team in order to win. It's that way in business too. And in this area, one of the winning teams is Lee's Auto Parts. That's because they've teamed up with CarQuest to assure you of quality auto parts. Lee's carries quality names in auto parts, such as AP Exhaust, TRW Engine Parts, Blue Streak Ignition, Monroe Shock Absorbers, and so much more. When you need auto parts, remember the winning team. Lee's Auto Parts on Main Street in South River. In the heart of South River, across from the post office, there's a store called Otto's Liquors, operated by the most courteous and nice people, serving the public over 350 different imported and domestic wines, champagnes, and over 200 imported and domestic beers. The finest cordials from all over the world are also available. And Otto's is also your New Jersey lottery agent. Pick it available 13 hours a day.
At Laser Lube, you're never in the dark. We have nothing to hide. We welcome you to watch our certified 10-minute oil change specialists complete 24 maintenance services. See for yourself. Laser Lube uses only high-quality products. Relax with a cup of coffee in our customer lounge, and we're done in a flash. No appointment necessary. Only high-quality products and laser low prices at Laser Lube. Convenient locations throughout the
Out to the South River Club.
Where's it located, John?
That's right, north, south, east, west of the Raritan River. Come on in, enjoy our friendly hospitality and friendly bartenders, and here they are. We got Frank, Brian the Catman, Brian Mike, Tom Allen, Rich Chris, and Hank. Sue on Sunday, and Lenny. Bring 2, give 1 to him, spend the other. On Monday night, we'll have 3 hot dogs for you also. Come on down. That's on Main Street in South River, New Jersey.
How do you get there, John?
By car, you.
Joe Manzo believes in the future of South River. He has raised his 5 children in town and has devoted many hours to make South River a better place to live. As he watches his grandson grow in town, his commitment to South River grows even stronger. Joe Manzo believes it's time for South River to cross the bridge into the future. If you believe in a better future for South River, join Joe Manzo and cross the bridge of progress.
Vote line C6, paid for by the Friends of Joe Manzo. South River High School Booster Club wishes the Rams football team the best of luck in the 86-87 season. The Booster Club also wishes good luck to the soccer, tennis, field hockey, and cross-country teams. The Booster Club is a year-round service organization that provides support for all boys and girls teams in the high school. The club has purchased equipment for the school that is used for teaching aids as well as bodybuilding. Fundraising is done through raffles, 50-50s, pancake breakfasts, craft shows, as well as football refreshment stand. Half the profits from this stand go to the junior class every year for their treasury. Be a booster. Join us on Thursdays at 8 p.m. in the home economics room of the high school.
couple on with Mark Regner. Let's recap the scoring. Just a minute and 10 seconds in the ball game. Rams, after a fumble, Joe Shateri never got the ball to Vinnie Jackson. John Johnson, that set up his score from 2 yards out. The Bloom extra point made it 7-0. And someone made a good point to you at halftime.
At halftime, yes, they did. One in the stands, I'll give him credit, Mr. Mattias said to me, I went out, I was sitting in the stands talking with the people, and he said, hey, put Mike Dean in there on that one play. It's one play. He's a senior. He's experienced. You know, you get not taking anything away from Joe Shateri. Nothing wrong. You know, just he's a little nervous. He's a sophomore. It's a big game. He's nervous. It's cold. He gets that snap. He bobbles it. He bobbles the pitch. You know, something you got to think about. But, hey, he's your quarterback. He's going to be your quarterback in future years. You got to think of it that way. Hey, he's going to have to face pressure sometime in his life. Put him in there.
And then their second score with just a minute 22 to play in the first half. John Johnson, a 58-yard scoring run. A break for the Rams. The extra point try. The snap was low. They looked for Sharp in the end zone. Couldn't connect. So it's 13-0 at halftime. A bit of an even ball game. Both teams a couple turnovers, some interceptions, some fumbles. But they capitalized on that first fumble by the Rams. 7-0, a minute 10 in. And then that was a big crushing blow. The John Johnson second touchdown of the game, is fourth of the year.
Only with a minute 22 left in the half. Kind of the Rams defense, I think, laxed a little bit, and they just got caught. It's a big play. And Craig, you got to think about it. What if Makowitz ever went down? Who's going to come in? Would it be Dean or would it be Shateri? That's a good question. Well, who do you think would quarterback?
One thing I noticed in the first half, I haven't seen Bill Shateri, this man, in a long time. He was just furious. He shook up the defense. Crawford out at nose guard. Bill's not happy in the first half of this team's play.
Would you be? You got good drives. You got good offense. I mean, you're getting yards, and you just hurt yourself with a turnover. Right? Twice that happened. Okay, let's look at it. You got a couple bad calls from the ref. That's part of the game. Let's just live with it, and let's just say, hey, we got to take it. We got to come back.
Rams 24 minutes of action, 2 quarters to play. Certainly not out of it.
I think somebody who should be happy is probably Joe Castro. Hey, I got a 13-point lead. This is the biggest lead I had on South River in years. I'm going to savor it. I'm going to keep my guys fired up. They go in that locker room and say, hey, look, we took it to them the first half. We're going to take it to them the second half. We're going to keep running on them. We're getting 5-6 yards a pop. I'm going to keep running. He probably went in and said, hey, what's the problem with this passing? You guys aren't running the right routes or something. Bad passing. So look for Highland Park to keep it on the ground, to use the clock. I think, I can't say they're going to be content to sit on this lead because they came out with 20 seconds left looking to score. I think they're going to try to score as many points as they can on South River. But if it comes down to it, they're going to try. If they have a 13-point lead going into the fourth quarter, I think he'd be content to win 13-0.
I'm not so much worried about what Highland Park is going to do. This is going to be pretty obvious. They'll go to Johnson and Harrison. The Rams can really sustain a drive and capitalize. They had a good drive. That Bird fumble took away some momentum. Then an interception. So it's up to Rams to sustain a drive.
So the Rams will be kicking from right to left on your screen. We'll see Garcia out to boot. Now remember, he hasn't had high, long boots. Now, at Highland Park, we saw a punt run back earlier that was called back. They have the ability to run a kickback, right? We saw it. South River's got to get good coverage down quickly.
They have Johnny Johnson, Tyrone Harrison, and Jimmy Davis are back deep.
Craig, Craig, you pointed something out earlier, just a couple seconds ago. We just saw somebody in the stands with a T-shirt on, and I got a sweater on, and I am freezing. It's a cold day out here, a windy day.
Now, this is the first time Garcia's kicked off today.
He's cold, you know. He better have stretched that leg out.
So a lot of speed on the field here for Highland Park. Here's the soccer-style boot from Garcia by Melvin Sharp. He bobbled the ball, moves it across the 20 up to about the 25-yard line.
So the Rams get a good punt, stays up with the wind, and they get good coverage. Highland Park going to start out at about the 26-yard line. Not that good a field position. So now here it is. Let's see the Rams defense. It's a big test. Something nice the Rams could use here, a quick turnover or defensive score. You got to score on those extra things, the kicking game. You need points throughout the year and from those aspects of the game.
Larry Crawford is back at nose guard. Bill Shern's one of the tackles for the Rams. Backs are split. Here's Tyrone Harrison. Exploding. He may go all the way. One man to beat Larry Crawford inside the 30, the 20, the 10, and everything we said, Mark. 74 yards. First play of the second half. 19-0. 74 yards, Mark. He had 80 yards rushing last week in the win over Pius. So it's now 19-0. Bill Bloom, the senior, will try the extra point, number 5. And I think, Mark, everything we just said went out the window.
Really?
The kick is up and good. We'll take a break. 11:23 to play, third quarter, 20-0. Owls on top. Point. It's a kick from Sharp. Sadowski from his own 20, racing along the sideline across the 35 to about the 37.
Rams with good field position, the wind blowing across the field. Sadowski down, slow getting up. You see him right to the right, the right bottom of your screen, right by the ref there, being attended to. Rams can't get down on themselves. Hey, what if they scored 30 points in a half and come back and win? What if they score 4 touchdowns? You got to think of it. You can't give up, Craig. Hey, Rams come back and win this game. What momentum going into the next game.
Be an incredible comeback. It's going to be a big challenge for South River, down by 20 points. Rams need points in a hurry. Craig Bailey is wide right, 1st and 10 Rams. Their own 37-yard line. Here's Rich Bird straight ahead.
Rich Bird straight ahead for about 4, nothing fancy. I'll tell you, a little extra activity going on with Crawford and number 44 linebacker for Highland Park, Jeff Karvowski. And I'll tell you, they're going at it, and that's South River can't hurt themselves and get frustrated.
His Bird once again has the first down as Rich goes for 5 yards.
So, Rams get 5 and 5, good enough for a first down. So it's 1st and 10 on midfield. Rams not doing anything fancy, 2 straight dives. They can't waste time here. They have to keep plugging. The Rams need a quick score. They need a couple quick scores.
10:18 remaining, third quarter, 20-0. Owls on top. Rams work 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line. Here's Vinny Jackson, cuts inside for about a yard, upended by Dexter Keels.
Nothing that time for South River. Pitch to the short side of the field.
Gain of 1 for Jackson, 2nd and 9. The Rams' philosophy just can't go for the whole ball of wax right here. Just got to chip away.
Chip away, but you got to chip away hoping that you could break one. I mean, it's going to be tough for the Rams here.
Rams haven't really broken too many big plays here through 4 games. Mack with the throw. Incomplete for Jeff Dorian. The linebacker was right there.
That play was actually behind the line of scrimmage, that pass caught. Nothing really developing there. Rams offense running good, well up the middle. They get a couple first downs now. It's 3rd and long. You know they're going to throw the ball. Bad situation to be in. 9:23 left.
3rd and 9 for South River. At the Owls, 49. Smalley and Bird in the backfield. Mack with the throw. Look over the middle for Bailey, incomplete. Bailey was open, just couldn't connect.
Just didn't get the ball, was overthrown. Bailey coming from the right side of the field split and does a slant over the middle and just not connecting. The ball is overthrown.
Rams are punting on a 4th and 9. So Craig Bailey on the punt. John Johnson back deep along with Mark Lewis.
Johnson and Lewis are back deep. Quick, Bailey is coming away from the Rams.
Rams only had 10 players on the field. The boot from Bailey. Inside the 20, inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. Chipkowski battling at midfield.
A lot of players, temper swearing. I just hope we don't see anything ugly here today.
So right now, talking about ugly, the Owls are winning ugly, 20-0. The Owls offense will take over at their own 13-yard line. Poor field position again for the Owls, but last time Harrison broke it for his 3rd touchdown on the year.
Just a big play, plaguing the Rams. Don't like to see it.
First and 10 Owls. Sophomore Keith Agran at quarterback, number 19. There's Tyrone Harrison stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
This time, defensive end Paul Barkalow coming up, making a play.
The loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 for Highland Park. 8:23 remaining, 3rd quarter. Here's John Johnson off left side. Sidestep tackle spinning. What should have been a loss if he got 5.
And he got 5. It's frustrating. And I'm sure it's frustrating for a coach. He makes the right call. He's got his defensive men there. They can't come up with the tackle. I'll tell you, Craig, South River's going to have to, in practice, they're going to have to get the quickest guy in the team on the second team offense and just give him pitches and let the defense just keep, run the same play over and over and let the defense just keep just grabbing them and bringing them down, using the right technique.
Ian Ivanovich is on at linebacker, number 32 for the Rams. 3rd and 4. Here's Harrison up the middle, nothing fancy, just dragging. Rams has the first down.
Hard to believe that the Rams just can't bring these guys down. The Rams have big men up front. Bill Sharon, 6'3", 260. Nowicki, he's 240. Just unbelievable, Craig. They think that the manpower up front can't stop these backs.
Highland Park from their own 28, 1st and 10. John Johnson off the far side of the field, inside. Another 10-yard pickup. That's that play. He gets that one more block there, Mark. He's gone.
Flag down. So it's going to go against Highland Park. Rams will take the penalty. Craig, they pitch out to that left side, or they give a handoff and they give the end around. The Rams have men there. They're stringing it out. The Highland Park backs cut it up the field, and they just go and they drag South River people with them, and then they shake a couple off, and then it's good night.
Clipping against the Owls sends the ball back their own 15-yard line. They have to get out to about the 39 for a first down.
So South River gets
Well, first call a 24-yard line for a first down.
and if they get it, you know, South River could kind of look back on this one.
Rams get a break with a penalty. Harrison, fumble, ball is loose. It's hard to tell.
Got it back. Highland Park got it back.
Wait for the official word. Rams are signaling. It looked like possibly Dexter Keels, number 27, got the ball. That sums up.
I saw it, Craig. Craig, one of the Ram defenders, I couldn't see who it was, didn't get the number, tried to pick it up and run, fouled it right into 27's hand for Highland Park, and that's Dexter Keels.
6:05 to play, third quarter, 20-0.
Just the way it's going for South River today.
Second down play. Here's Johnson, that far side of the field. That time the Rams stop him. Dorian was there.
Same play. They're not doing anything different. I think it's going to go against the Rams. Personal foul on South River. Hurting themselves over and over today. Turnovers. It's all part of the game now. You can't look back and say, well, if we didn't do this and we didn't do that, we would have won. It's all part of the game. So far today, Highland Park better than South River.
That gives the Owls a first down at the 41-yard line.
All right, keeps their drive alive, keeps the clock moving. It's tough. It's just the bad breaks plaguing the Rams.
First and 10 from their own 41-yard line, out of the eye. Second man through is Johnson for a couple. You may not see too many passes from the Highland Park offense.
Not at all. You're not going to see another one. Just the rest of the half. I'll put myself out on the line saying that one. Unless they really need it. You know, in a third and long, they're not going to throw.
Second and 7 for Highland Park. Backs are split this time. Here's Johnson. Tries to leap over a couple of tacklers. Got maybe a yard. I think the difference with the Rams have speed this year in the backfield. Jackson and Bird, they're not getting that final block to spring them loose 60 yards.
No, they're not. Same play again for Highland Park here. Left side handoff.
Johnson on the carry, 36 for Highland Park first down.
Number 30, Johnson comes from the right side, gets the handoff, goes around left end for the, looking from the offensive viewpoint, and that's the play he broke for a touchdown.
3rd and 6 for Highland Park. Agran on the give to Harrison. Stop. Ram defense comes up big there, so punting unit has to come on. This is the first time, Mark, that Highland Park has punted today. Keith Legrand back to punt for Highland Park, so he's the quarterback, always a possibility to throw. Penalty flag. Jackson is back deep for the Rams, lets it roll. Flags all over the field. So we'll have to see the officials sort this one out against Highland Park, so I'll probably have to boot it away once again.
Yeah, South River's going to go with a pump block again. They almost got that one. We got 2 penalty flags.
May be offsetting.
The Rams with the...
There's a penalty flag down at the 30-yard line of South River.
Penalties offset, they'll do it again. All right, that might work well for the Rams in their favor. They get another shot at the pump block, and Jackson gets another shot maybe at returning. You got a pump block on, though. He's the only man deep. You want him to fair catch that ball.
So Gregor, we'll call him Gregor, Keith Grant.
He got that one high and short. Now, if he kicks it high and short again, the deep men for South River have to fair catch that high, short kick.
9 men rushing for South River. Smalley, and who's waiting for a fair catch at his own 28-yard line. Rams really the whole field again now to try to score. They're not getting the field position. Rams will work this drive from their own 28-yard line. 3:10 to play, third quarter. Getting colder and colder, Mark. If the wind picks up.
I sure am.
See if the Rams can generate some offense. They send Ron Sadowski wide left.
Good to see Sadowski back in there.
Vinny Jackson goes in motion. Here's the fullback, Todd Check.
The hole was more to the left. He cut it back into the line. Check cuts back to the right. The hole was to the left. Ran the wrong hole. Only picks up a couple.
You know, football is such a game of momentum, especially in high school. We were talking at halftime. You know, it's so difficult for a high school team to go 70, 80 yards on a drive. They're either big plays, or if you force a turnover, like Highland Park did, and you get that gimme quick touchdown. That's the whole thing, I think, in high school football. It's quick touchdowns off turnovers or big plays. There's not a lot of 80-yard drives. Your teams just don't have the talent and consistency to go 80 yards. Here's Mackwitz to throw. Tipped and intercepted by Johnny Johnson. He's going to walk in 35 yards for a touchdown, 26-7. Mark, good night, Irene. It's all over here at Denny Stadium, so as the crowd starts to file out with just 2:13 to play.
John Johnson's third touchdown on the game and 5th on the year, 26-0 Owls.
So Bill Bloom on to try the extra point. Low snap, kick is up, and drills it through the upright. So at 2:13 to play, third quarter, 27-0, Owls on top.
We've been having some troubles. We wanted to cut there, and we couldn't. Just going to go live. Probably going to use all the tape up and not have any. Have some more difficulties. What else can go wrong today? Well, we'll just keep it here then for the rest of the game, I guess. We'll just keep going. We'll just keep talking.
That's what we want, Mark. We don't want to break. So they'll make a change. Carol Strumminger will kick off. Eicher, Jackson, and Sadowski are back deep.
Strumminger will kick off the Owls. Jackson, Eicher, and Sadowski are back deep for the Rams.
Not been a pleasant homecoming for South River. Eicher feels at his own 20, plus the 25 to up to about the 27-yard line. So give the Owls credit on their special teams. The Rams not able to really break even across the 30 on most plays.
Good coverage, but yet the kick was kind of short. South River let it bounce. Eicher had trouble picking it up. You know, that gives the kickoff team time to get down the field. And you're running 40 yards, you do that in 5 seconds, you know. So it's just been a long afternoon for the Rams.
Spot at the 27, 1st and 10 Rams. Here's the tailback. Jackson has running room up the middle.
Words being exchanged. Oh, again and again, you could just see it out there. I don't know if you could see it on the monitor, but just over and over again. I'm telling you, I hope South River doesn't stoop down to a Highland Park level and really just, you know, come out swinging, because you don't want to see something like that. We have much more class than that, and I hope South River people don't get frustrated.
So 2nd and 5. Eicher goes in motion. Mackwith pumps, trying to get out of trouble, wrestled down by the defensive end, big Tyrone Harrison.
Tyrone Harrison on the sack for Highland Park.
I don't know, Mark. It's just one of those days. Things just get worse and worse.
Quarterback Joe Shateri in now. Mackwith's coming out, maybe looking a little dejected.
Remember, Mark, Rams were in the hole a minute and 10 in. They were down 7-0.
They were. They weren't down like that the whole season. This is the first game.
Shateri, the sophomore on the bootleg, doesn't get much there. Craig Duncan, one of the captains, the senior, plays really a 3-year starter for Joe Policastro.
Get somebody like that's got experience, you know, as a captain, keeps the team fired up.
Jones and Johnson are back into the Owls. Bailey was moving away from South River.
And that's the end of the quarter. So I guess we'll just keep it here. We can't really take a break.
What can you say? We had high hopes for South River. Last 2 weeks have been disappointing if you're a Rams fan.
So, Craig, Jim Mankiewicz has a new number now. His shirt was ripped. And I can't spot him on the sidelines.
The Rams will have to punt it away to start the 4th and final quarter. It's been all Highland Park.
Mankiewicz will be wearing number 6 now, Craig. There, I spotted him.
So Johnson and Lewis back deep for the Owls. Craig Bailey, the booted away, high kick. Johnson across the 45 to about the 48. Ian Ivanovich in on that tackle. I guess for the Rams and Bill Shateri, it's time to regroup, time to reassess, go back to the drawing board.
I don't think it's so much going back to the drawing board, Craig. I think the offense, until they Highland Park really blew it open 20-0, the first half they were driving. They played themselves with turnovers, and it's a part of the game. Just going to have to hold on to that ball.
New quarterback for number 16, Brian Lewis. Here's a familiar face, John Johnson exploding. May go all the way inside the 20. Dorian can't catch him. 52 yards.
So South River getting taught a lesson by John Johnson. And
Touchdown of the ball game, the 6th on the year.
Craig, what do you think that play went for? About 52
yards. Bloom will try the extra point. Fake, here's a grand. Batted down by Eicher, so Rams hold there. One of those games, I remember a few years ago, the Rams got beat bad by Monroe here, and Metuchen, and Serval. You get thumped at home, it hurts.
It really does hurt. And you know, you have 6 games on the road. Your first 3 you're on the road, you're 2-1. You say, all right, we won 2, we lost 1. That's pretty good. Now we're home. We got Highland Park. It's homecoming. You know, let's just go out and take it to them. And the Rams just they didn't do it. They didn't take it to them.
They got to take it to them.
Let's look though, Craig. 52-yard run, 74-yard run, 58-yard run. Big play.
They're not. If you look at positive, they're not driving on the Rams, but a touchdown is still a touchdown. Mark, did the Rams have the quickness you feel in the defense?
I don't think it's that, Craig. I think it's just that with these quick guys against anybody, with these quick guys, you have to get them at the line of scrimmage.
Vinnie Jackson picks the ball up at his 10-yard line across the 20. A good special teams coverage. Rams need those 60, 70-yard plays because they're starting deep in their own territory.
That's right, Craig. But hey, you can't rely on the big play. All right, Highland Park got it today. It worked for them. You can't rely on that big play, though. South River can't rely to, if they get down, to be able to come back and throw a bomb. You know, South River has a good offense. They proved that they could drive on teams. They do it. Then they hurt themselves with penalties and turnovers.
10:55 to play. Shatari, the quarterback. Rams from their own 22-yard line. Here's Eicher, the wingback, spinning off a tackle to about the 25. Gain of 3. So a 2nd and 7 for South River. Well, I think the tough thing about losing, especially in football, the game just seems to drag on
forever, and when it's cold, it even seems longer. Maybe for us.
Here's Todd Check, the fullback. Almost enough. Looks like first down. Possibly has it where they spot it. I think the wingback and the fullbacks for the Rams, Weems and Check, have had success running. But the defensive ends and linebackers of Highland Park, Harrison, Steve Harris at linebackers, Karvaski, they really denied Jackson and Bird any kind of outside game.
Any kind of breakaway play.
Definitely a sweet victory for Joe Policastro on the Highland Park squad. So here's Check that Dorian. It gets back to the line of scrimmage. .9:25 remaining for South River. Sophomore Joe Shatari in at quarterback. Takes a snap from Shern. Shatari looking for Sadowski. Johnson right there. I think he would have had him if they swung it to the sideline, but they tried to break that long.
I don't think it was designed to go long, Craig. That was designed to be a V out. Shatari had pressure on him. He just got rid of the ball. Overthrew his receiver, really. Sadowski turned it up, tried to go for it. Couldn't connect.
I think one thing the Rams certainly found out these last two ball games, Petty and Spotswood had no one near the quickness of any player on Highland Park in New Brunswick.
They certainly did find out. They found out the hard way. They got beat badly against New Brunswick. And
Ivanovich is wide left, 3rd and 9. Shateri over the middle, intercepted. Walter Fowler. So the turnovers continue to kill South River.
I'll tell you, look for Highland Park to try to go for another one here. You won't see Highland Park's second team offense in there, I'm telling you.
Although, Mark, they do have their backup quarterback, Brian Lewis Jr. on.
Come on, Craig, all those years. Podcaster's going to put as many points on the board as he can. It's just the truth. I'm just telling the truth. I'm not saying that's bad. Hey, we did it to them. They're going to do it to us.
Timeout, Highland Park.
Timeout, Highland Park.
Hey, you see number 22, Tyrone Harrison, number 30, Johnny Johnson out there in the field.
We're back. I think we might have missed a couple plays. Lamont Dyke's sack of...
Doesn't matter. You didn't really want to see them anyway, but... Oh, Craig, what else can go wrong?
That's right. Lawson is still our MVP on the old name.
Here's guard Smalley up to about the 39-yard line. See a man walking in a tank top, Mark. I don't know. It's just been that kind of day.
He can't be serious. He can't be serious.
He's got a full-growth beard. I think that's keeping him warm. So Bailey to boot it away. 4th down. High kick.
Very short. It'll land on the Highland Park 42 backward roll. And finally touchdown.
Highland Park almost blocked that punt.
South River giving up, I think, right now. I think they're really not into this game.
3.5 remaining in the ball game.
Surprised there's this many people left in the stands now. There's still a lot of people staying on.
So 1st and 10 Owls from their own 44.
Highland Park on 1st down. The give goes to the fullback. Is it Tyrone Harrison still in?
Jeff Karvaski on that carry, number 44.
Karvaski on the carry for Highland Park. 2nd down.
Jeff Karvaski at fullback. The 5'9", 170.
The clock ticking away. It's been a disappointing homecoming. Congratulations to the king and queen from TV 35. Jimmy Davis tries to cut inside. Across the 50 to about the 48. Nowicki on the stop. With help from Art Diem.
Had defenders, number 69. Jason Bush back. They had him. He came up from his defensive end spot. He had possibility getting the runner down in the backfield, just couldn't do it. That's been the story all day. Johnson got around the end, breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, and then he gets that block and he's gone.
The quarterback, Brian Lewis, for Highland Park. 3rd long 2. Karvaski stopped behind the line of scrimmage. So Ian Ivanovich, with help from Eicher. So punting situation for the Owls. 1:40 to play. One of those days, Mark. One of those days.
Can't dwell on it. Let's just concede it and let's just move on. Let's look forward to next week.
So Gran will boot it away. 10-man rush for the Rams. Sadowski back deep. penalty flag.
That goes down Ben. He nails it. Agron nails it inside the 10, rolling inside the 10.
Rolls inside the end zone, but a penalty flag on the play.
You're going to have to do that all over again. A minute 10 left.
Come on, let's run down the scoring right now. With a minute 10 in the first quarter, John Johnson, 2-yard run. The Bloom kick made it 7-0. Then the second quarter, just a minute 22 before halftime, Johnson, his second touchdown on the game, 58 yards. The extra point try failed, so it was 13-0 at the half. First play of the second half, Tyrone Harrison, 74-yard kick made it 20-0. Just like 30-some-odd seconds into the second half, excuse me. 2:13 remaining in the third. John Johnson, 35-yard interception, his third on the touchdown of the game. The kick made it 27-0. Then in the fourth quarter, just John Johnson, his fourth touchdown of the game, 52-yard run, 33-0. Then Brian Lewis to Dexter Keels. The kick was blocked, 39-0. So Grant set to boot it away.
30 years ago.
Low snap, gets away. He'll throw.
Here is Highland Park.
Incomplete. Melvin Sharp trapped it. May have a legal man downfield.
Downfield. So Craig, after running down the scoring, all Highland Park, of course, that name, John Johnson, came up an awful lot, offensively and defensively. I think he's really the outstanding player of the game.
Oh, no doubt about it. Just completely dominated. The Rams killed last week by Anthony Brown. And a rough afternoon for the Ram defense is John Johnson running wild with help from Tyrone Harrison. The Rams will take over, a minute 4 to play inside Highland Park territory at the 49-yard line.
Craig, I just got the word. Not much tape left since we had to roll the whole.
Gee, that's disappointing.
So we're just going to keep talking. When the game ends, we're going to wrap it up right away. We'll just sign off when the clock runs out. And I think most people are.
If you're watching now, you're a diehard. Believe it's no fun for us either, Mark. When you lose, it's no fun to cover a game, especially a route this big. So Joe Chateri at quarterback, Rams out of the eye. Rolls out to his right. Upended at the 45-yard line by Jimmy Davis. So Doc Balbus, Ed Chicky having words with the official.
Doc Balbus, where do you see Doc Balbus?
Doc's down there. I guess they felt that it was a personal foul. It was against Highland Park. Personal foul against Highland Park. Against Jimmy Davis. Went hard on Chateri, but I don't know if it matters really, Mark. 51 seconds. And what has not been a festive homecoming for the king and queen, maybe, for the junior class that won the float.
They did have the best one.
No doubt about that. That time, no one there. We have a penalty flag. I think Ian Ivanovich was held in the flat there, so a couple of late penalties here against the Owls. Penalty flag on play appears to be against Highland Park. We're still rolling, Mark. Still hanging in there to the final 35 seconds.